This is our final segment on Tri-City Sports Now. I'm Marky Billson. I want to thank our two guests. Certainly our new sponsor, Asian House. And if you're running late for lunch or so, hey, they're right there, West Market Street on the way to Jonesboro, or coming from Jonesboro, Greenville, where have you, Interstate 81 in Moshheim into Johnson City, that sort of thing. Right there, West Market Crossings. Right as you head into Johnson City on your right, or as you're leaving it on your left, on West Market Street, US 321. And they are a new sponsor, and they sponsor Asian House Falls Talk with Caleb Calhoun. So I'm real excited about that. And really just wonderful food. And a lunch menu. Go check it out, goasianhouse.com. But again, like I said, if you got an event, June, you've got weddings, you've got graduations, you've got all sorts of parties out there. Think about what a hit Chinese catering, or Japanese, would be. Something other than, just the standard, he got a bucket of chicken or something like that. Think about this for a second. They will take care of you at Asian House. Anyway, Tom, real good guy and very hardworking. And he's been in East Tennessee for about 12 years or something. Anyhow, Roger Goodell has been talking. He was up in Buffalo, New York, NFL commissioner, and there's some talk, I guess, that the Bills Stadium used to be called Rich Stadium. It isn't so good anymore. It's probably a little too big at 80,000. As bad as the Bills have been since Jim Kelly left. And yes, Jim Kelly was there, and he's surviving his 33rd charity golf tournament right outside of Buffalo. It's kind of funny when Kelly, he's so honest. He'll even talk. He's like Mr. Buffalo now, and he speaks of, when I was drafted to the Bills, the last place in the world I wanted to go was Buffalo. So I signed with the Houston Gamblers. Because where would you rather be, Houston or Buffalo? This is a man, Jim Kelly, who obviously would rather do catering at the Asian House than, say, a chicken wings place. See, Buffalo Wings. What cuisine is Buffalo famous for? I really don't know what Houston cuisine would be. You guess, steaks or something, but that's more like Texas in general, and all this Lone Star beer or something. Is there a distinct Houston versus Dallas cuisine? I might say Tex-Mex, certainly down to the border. When you start having tacos for breakfast, that's the South Texas cuisine and all this. But yeah, there's a Whataburger wherever and down there and all this. But anyhow, Roger Goodell, he's criticized a lot, and I'm starting to like him. Because I like that 18-game schedule, and I really hate the preseason. And I think he gets it. And also, I think that, if you started the football season, I'm curious to figure out when they would start the football season. Would they continue to start it on Labor Day, around then? And then just push the Super Bowl so where it competes with the Daytona 500, something like that? Or would they start it middle of August, like high school football? And boy, that really takes a bite out of baseball. It really, then, September in school when I was a kid, that was all about football. It wasn't so much about the pennant races, and I loved the pennant races. That's what I wanted to talk about, but I could sense they were falling off the page back then. Now, what happens if you begin football season, officially, in the middle of August? Be a lot more comfortable for the fans, I'll tell you that much. Sit in a stadium instead of the cold winter, that sort of thing. Anyway, he wants that, and he's reiterating that. Now, also in Buffalo, he says, you know what? You need to refurbish the stadium you got here. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. And the Bills are talking about, hey, why don't we do a Jerry World? Just make it a little bit smaller. 80,000, maybe a little too much for Buffalo. It's barely a top 50 market. Once upon a time, Buffalo was looking at a Major League Baseball team. They built Pilot Field, and they said, all we need to do is put another deck on here. We can get a Major League Baseball team. Not so much anymore. Now what they're trying to do is just prevent the Bills from moving to Toronto. But still, Still, Toronto Bills doesn't make any sense. You'd have to change the name of the team, just like the Oilers did. But anyway, that would be a loss, certainly. Not a big fan of it. Also, I'm liking a lot of Goodell. Goodell is saying the Chiefs' idea of changing overtime. No, it's stupid. I like overtime like it is. Again, heaven forbid. No. I am liking Roger Goodell. He doesn't have a problem with calling the Bills owner the Bills owner. My goodness. So, there you go. If you get the football to start the overtime period and drive all the way down and score a touchdown, most coaches say, hey, we deserve to lose. We didn't stop them. That's part of football. Yeah, field position. That's why pro football overtime is the best, in my opinion. I also like it at 10 minutes because it forces those decisions. Frank Reich going for it at midfield on 4th down. We were playing to win. I punt. We're not going to get the ball back. Enough time to win. I like those decisions that are made. I like Roger Goodell. I also like the fact that he went to Chuck Noll's funeral like I did. So there you are. But we didn't get a chance to get to the baseball draft. I don't know if I'm going to have a chance here, but I did want to say this. The college football bowl game lineup. This is what I'm going to go with here. Then tomorrow I'll talk a little bit more about the baseball draft. Let's see here. The Orioles, they went chalk. There was some talk that they wouldn't, but they chose the catcher from Oregon State. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. Vanderbilt. Who was that guy that Vanderbilt had? Yeah, I know that I'm really working down all the. They had their star player taken by the Marlins. Let's see here. Bobby Witt Jr., who was taken with the number 2 choice by the Royals. So, anyway, we'll talk more about that tomorrow, the baseball draft and such. I mean, it's as important as the football or the basketball draft, or is it? Okay, college football bowl game lineup has been announced for the next 6 seasons. Beginning in 2020, of course, they're going to start to have a bowl game at Fenway Park, which I hate. Anyway, the SEC has ties into 10 bowls, and the ACC to 11. But from 20 to 25, the ACC is going to be affiliated with the Orange Bowl, where they could play. We have this right here. The ACC will have, the Orange Bowl, where they could play either the SEC, the Big Ten, or Notre Dame. Camping World, that's the former Citrus Bowl. They'll play the Big 12. The Holiday Bowl, they're in the Holiday Bowl. Used to be the Big Ten. Now it's the ACC against the Pac-12. Used to be the Big Ten against the Pac-12. That always was a fun game that had a lot of high scoring, but bowl games now are just so, interestingly enough, the Belk Bowl still ranks very highly for the ACC, and they're going to play the SEC or the Big Ten. That's like the third string bowl game. Fenway ACC will be in the Fenway Park Bowl against the American. The Pinstripe Bowl, maybe in Wrigley Field, I don't know, against the Big Ten. Sun Bowl against the Pac-12. Gator Bowl against the SEC. Military Bowl, that's in Texas, against the American. Independence Bowl against the Pac-12. That I find interesting. The SEC no longer with the Independence Bowl. And the Gasparilla Bowl with the SEC. If you're wondering, the SEC, the bowl, and they only have 10, so I mentioned the ACC catching up to the SEC. Yes, there were more players drafted out of the SEC. I'll give you that last year. But hey, 2 of the last 3 national champions, and look at the head-to-head back in 2016. Nevertheless, SEC, here are their bowl games coming up. Of course, it's always that college football playoff that they tend to get some teams in. But the Sugar, you knew that was going to continue. It's against the Big 12 tie-in now. Citrus Bowl. I guess the Camping World Bowl is not I guess the Citrus Bowl is still Big Ten. So Citrus Bowl is no longer with the ACC. They're with the Big Ten. Used to be the ACC champ went to the Citrus Bowl. Las Vegas Bowl, that could be big versus the Pac-12 or the Belk Bowl against the ACC. Outback Bowl against the Big Ten stays the same. Gator against the ACC stays the same. Texas Bowl against the Big 12 stays the same. Music City against the Big 10 stays the same. Liberty Bowl against the Big 12. Birmingham versus the American. Gasparilla against the American. 2, they've got those ties in as well. How can you have both the SEC and the ACC with Gasparilla Bowl. I guess it's whoever has the better team and all that. Too many bowl games. Too many. Nobody cares about who 6-6 is playing 7-5. Come on. Unless it's your team, and then you don't even go to the game. You just, all those sorts. So Tri-City Sports Now. See you tomorrow. Colin Coward is next.
20 WEMB Sports Radio Irwin. Real sports talk.